Hello guys, today welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to show you how you can set up the EC2 instance using the Terraform. So today I will explain you how you can set up, how you can write the Terraform code. Also I will explain you how you can pass the user data to our EC2 instance, and also how we can use the key name locally. So here you can see that I have write this code to save some time. So you can see that I have created the one instance here, and with the help of AMI. So you can see here I am accessing some data. So here you can see here I am using the AMI. This is actually the AMI of some agents, so I am running on it. So you can see that this is my AMI, and I am accessing those AMI using the data class. So after that we have the instance type, whatever I am using there, T2 medium instance type. Then I am passing the user data file, which is contain instance-setup.sh. So you can see that my file is present here, which has some command which I am going to run. So now you can see that I also use the key name VPC security group, whichever I want to access, like device volume, what volume this EC2 instance should use. It has the volume type should be the GPU, because I am running some agents, AI agents on it. So that's why I am using this type of volumes. Also I am passing the name of EC2 instance. You can also pass your tags based on your projects or based on your company requirement. So I am just adding one more tag here, project name equal to AI agent. So now you can see that I am also creating one elastic IP domain inside my VPC. I am using the default VPC. Also you can add the VPC and subnet here as well, but right now I am using the default VPC because this instance is for demo purpose, so that's why. Otherwise I will use the VPC which are already present in my system. Now you can see that I am associate this elastic IP to my EC2 instance. Because why I am creating elastic IP? Because when the instance restart, if I don't assign the elastic IP to those instances, then if I restart those instances, instance IP will automatically change. So I don't want to change my instance IP one get updated. So that's why I am creating the elastic IP and assigning to the EC2 instance. So my elastic IP will be fixed and only assigned to that EC2 instance. So now you can see that I am using this AMI. So I am using the Ubuntu AMI, which has some, actually this AMI is belong to the that agent company. So I am just using or populating that public AMI and launching my EC2 instances. Also I am printing the output, what is the public IP of this instance, something like that. About the key pair I will explain you few moments later. Before that we can go to the other files and see that here you can see that I am assigning the security. I am creating the security group which I want to assign to this here. You can see that VPC security group. So I want to create this security group here. So in this security group, what I am doing, I am just creating one SSH. I am just opening one SSH port which can allow anyone can access this SSH port with the help of key file. Also I am also adding one ingress rule which contain 80 port will be allowed to the internet. And also I am creating the another ingress rule which contain 8080 port should be allowed to for seeing the dashboards and all for this elastic for this AI agents. Ingress which I am going to show you that ingress will be open to all, means what egress and ingress. Egress is something like who is connecting to my EC2 instance. So from so other system connect to my EC2 instance only via this open port like 22808080. But egress is something like my EC2 instance, inside from my EC2 instance I am connect to the or over the internet or all other things. So this is the like traffic from the EC2 instance, and this is traffic from to the EC2 instance. So that's the difference. So keep it in mind, because every interview and many times you require those things. Now I am going to main.tf. In the main.tf I am just using the provider. I am using the AWS provider with the region name. So I am default I am using the US East 1 region. So I am putting that. So here are some key file, but I will explain you how we can generate the key file before that, because you can see that here I just use the key pair name, because if I want to access those EC2 instance I need a key pair, right? So for that actually I need a public key. So there are two means here if we want to create the key in the AWS console, if you are creating the instance to the AWS console, you just have to click on the create key button and AWS will automatically create those keys, right? But from Terraform you have to create those keys by yourself. So that's why I am just using these resources and assigning to the test key.pub file. So here how we can create those keys, that's the question, right? So let me do one history command. Actually I run those command 5 minutes ago, like how we can create those keys. So you can see that this is the command for this. So here you can see that I am just using the SSH keygen software tool, which can use the RSA mechanism and creating my key. So I am just giving the name here, whatever I want to create. So I am giving the test-ssh -key. So it will generate, it will asking me the passphrases. So I am keeping those passphrases empty because I don't want password for my key to open the key, right? So you can see that my keys are created. So you can see that test SSH key, right? Test SSH key, test SSH key.pub file. Let me remove those files because this agent key pem which file which my previously, because I tested these things, some things, so that's why this file is pending from there. So you can see that now, right now I have test SSH key and test SSH key.public. So these two files are generated by my previous operation. So you can see that I am copy those file, this file name like pub file, and I am keeping those pub file here because we want to access or we want to give EC2 instance saying that this is my public file, you keep that, and I have the private key, and match those private key and public key. If that match, then allow me the SSH access. So I am using those key file, you can see here I am using those here, key pair agents key name. So that is the thing I want to explain, like because so many people are using the key which are provided by AWS, but in the EC2 instances, or if you are set up these things using the Terraform, at a time you need this key pair. So in that way I am just explaining you how you can do that. So now everything is set up, right, or everything is done. Let's do the Terraform init. So before that you have to do Terraform init. Terraform init is command for utilization or initialize all the Terraform code. If you want, you can see my before videos, there I mention all the Terraform commands which are required for our daily use case. So now we do Terraform plan. So in Terraform plan we can see what resources are going to create and things like that. So it will take some time. Before that we can go to the AWS console and see here. You can see that this is my AWS account. This is the testing account, so no need to worry on that. Regarding the API keys and all, we can, like, this account will be, this is the like demo instance, so we can all once I delete this demo setup, then my AWS account will also be deleted. So you can see that there is no instance. Before that we can see that, see my plan is completed. It is going to create the 5 resource. Let's check what is the resource it is going to create. You can see that security group, also it's going to create AWS key pair. Also there is the AWS instance, association, elastic IP and elastic IP. These are the 5 resources these are going to create. Let's do that. So I am using the auto approve, which means that I don't want to say yes, directly approve it. So otherwise if you do the Terraform, TF is for the Terraform, so I just mentioned here TF is for Terraform because every time I don't want to write complete Terraform, so that's why I use TF short form. I set up alias in my setup, so you can also do that. Now it's start creating these things. So you can see that it's created, a key pair is created, and it's creating the security group and things like that. So meanwhile we can see here or refresh the page here. You can see that my agent, elastic agent server is initialization process. It's running right now. It's also creating here. You can see that operation is running. It will take some time actually, because initialization, it means that what it will do, it will like install my this script in my EC2 instance. This is user data. So what I am doing inside those scripts, I am just updating my API apt-get, means package manager, installing something, cloning the repository, git repository, and initialize the Docker containers, and set up the Docker. And after that I am just using the Docker compose to pull some file and create the Docker compose to run my AI agents. So now you can see that apply completed. 5 resources are created. So 0 to change and 0 to register and something like that. So let me clear those and let do ELS. Now go to here. You can see that for initialization it takes some time. So before that we can connect to our EC2 instance. So we can click on that connect. Before that here here are few commands we need to run that. Here you can see that I created this test SSH key and test SSH key dot pub which I passed to my EC2 instance. But right now this test SSH key contain no extension, right? So we have to add the extension to those files, because this file should be work with my EC2 instance. So for that I am just moving this. So here is the p file dot pem. I am using the pem extension. Pem is the uh, file extension which are we use for the SSH keys and all, store the SSH keys and all. You can Google it, you can easily get those things. So now you can see that my SSH key pem is successfully created and my test SSH key dot pub is also there. So you can also delete the test SSH key pub file right now, because there is no need of this file, but you have to store this state SSH key dot pem file somewhere for the future use case if you want to futurely connect to those EC2 instances. So now once your EC2 instance is created, you can't change or update this integration like test key integration, because EC2 instance is already created via the PEM file, right? So you can't update that once this instance is launched, otherwise you will miss those files. So keep this file is in the secure place where you can access it easily, and it should be the secure, it should be not leak, because if it's leak then anyone can access to your EC2 instance. So now you can see that let's go to our terminal. Let's do here like, okay, so what I'm doing here, I'm just renaming this file to my elastic agent key pem file, because it will easy for me to like use those. So let me use those file name, and I'm using here elastic agent pem file. I'm just renaming those file to the agenta -key.pem, just for the purpose of a good understanding and running those command directly. You can also use the same as well, no need to rename it. So if I just have to copy paste. Okay, now you can see that I am going to do the SSH on those instances using that agent key pem file. This is a private file which we created. Now it will saying me that would you like to add. I just say yes. It will take some time. You can see that my instance is launched successfully and I am right now inside those EC2 instances. So right now I have the agenta file, agenta folder is there. You can see that in this repository I am just cloning those things from the GitHub. You can see that agenta.git, this is the clone. So that's I am doing that. So now I am just checking that docker ps. So I am checking that is docker is installed or not in this terminal, means my user data script runs successfully or not. You can see that my user data script runs successfully, and but there is some issue. What is that? I am using here docker compose, and up means this need to be the install something, and should initialize my docker containers, but you can see that there is no docker container which are running here. Let's see, is that my user data will pull those images which are required for this. No, there is no image found, right? So what I need to do here, like to initialize my setup, this is the out of your syllabus, but you can also learn from this as well. So I am just using this to docker els. So I am agenta, and I am just running one command which is required for this, like this one, sudo docker compose. So I think this command has some issue, so let me see what is the command for this. So yes, you can see here is the command. So I'm just using those commands. Okay, I missed sudo, so that's why it's giving me the error permission. So you can see that now my pulling of the images is started, and this will install my dependency and turn on or set up my docker setup and set up my AI agent setup on my EC2 instances. So it will take some time because it's pulling the images and then doing that. But yeah, that's the pretty much in the side of the setup the EC2 instance. You can also use those code. I will upload those code on my GitHub repository, and from there you can access this. So this is very straightforward code and very useful, because in interview as well you ask something like that, how you can set up those things. Also we can add the many things here in the resource section, instance resource section, VPC and many things, VPC and subnets and other things as well, EBS volumes and all. So provider, I am just using the default provider. Also you can use the default tags to the providers as well. So right now it's like pulling those images, so it will take time actually for doing that. So let's end up there, let's wrap up our session here. So that's pretty much from my side about the how to set up EC2 instances. If you like those video, please hit the like button. Thank you so much.